Good evening, my friends. Sorry that I missed you guys last night, but I ended up working till like 3 a.m. Uh, yeah, good times. So, Second Corinthians chapter 1. This is one of my favorite verses. I mean, in the New Testament. They're all my favorite verses, but this one especially. It really is comforting. And let's just see what Paul says. 2 Corinthians 1, verses 8 and 9, he says, "For we would not, brothers, have you to be ignorant of our troubles which came to us in Asia, that we were pressed out of measure, above strength, insomuch that we despaired even of life. But we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in God, who raises the dead." And I don't know about you guys, but I understand this word. I understand what Paul is saying. I understand that he's saying, look, everything that we experience, um, everything we've experienced, all these troubles that have come upon us, they brought us to the point where we felt like we wanted to die. That there was no reason to live anymore. Were just looking forward to death and seeing the Lord. And he says, but we had the sentence of death in ourselves. We were in this position where death was seemingly the only and best option, that we should not put our confidence and our trust in ourselves, but instead, since we had no other option but death, we were forced to put our trust in God, who could raise the dead, who could give hope to hopelessness, who could bring dead things to life, right? So it's beautiful what he's saying here. And I think that sometimes, God, he allows immense pressure in our lives to bring us to the end of ourselves, to the end of all our own scheming, our own ways to figure out how to get out of our circumstances, our own ways to figure out how, because I can make some things happen in my flesh. But just because I can make something happen doesn't mean that God has honored it. Like success doesn't mean blessed, right? There's plenty of people who are successful and who make things happen without God. So God, for our own benefit and to bless us, he puts us in position to where we can't even see a way out. We can't even see hope. He brings us to the end of all our flesh and our self-confidence and our understanding, to where we despair. And then when he steps in and he grants us the faith to trust in him, we see great and miraculous things, because we are forced to put our trust in him. You know what I mean? Because we're forced to see that nothing's impossible with God, and that he's doing it, and we're just waiting for him. And it's not about us and our self-effort. It's about him and what he's doing. And we can trust him. We can trust that he's going to do it. We can trust that he's faithful. And we shouldn't be surprised when we're pressed out of measure, above our own strength, so much that we despair even of life, so that we can stop trusting in ourselves. This is the hardest thing for God to do for us, is to get us to stop looking to self. We have to die to ourself, and that's a daily thing. So let's trust in God, and let's die to ourselves. Amen.